Professor Lee, it's a pleasure and honor to have you among us at SIPS 2019. Let us know your impression. You are participating for the first time.
That's right. I participated in many organizations such as this, but I did find this is very different. This is somewhat different because in the other organization I did see more scientists and more decision makers, policy makers. And here you do have more engineers and more enterprises. Industry people are here. And so it's kind of interesting. And I admire you working on the sustainability. But as I mentioned, that the sustainability is still far away from us. We need to make tremendous effort in many aspects. And last night you did mention about 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. And that certainly will reduce the emission quite a bit. And this is important part.
Yeah, that is our goal also. So
Yeah.
it's our joint goal.
Yeah.
You were awarded Frey International Sustainability Award.
Yeah.
How you feel about that?
Well, I was a little surprised and a little shocked because in spite of the fact I worked very hard on this issue, being the president of International Council of Science and running around all over the world and establish something called Future Earth program, try to connect the knowledge to action. With all the things I've been doing, I did see that the sustainability is eluding us, seems to be not getting any closer. And global warming, extreme weather event, heat wave, typhoon are still hitting us very hard, and it's influencing agriculture. So in this discussion, we did mention about like what Borak has done, Swanima-san has done on the improvement of agriculture. But you'll see that the one typhoon or one drought that could be wiped out completely. So I'm a scientist. I believe this scientific improvement could do it. On the other hand, the physical damage really is killing us now. So we are really in the fight competition. We have to win.
But in terms of the award, still there much work to be done, but you deserve it for your contribution. So
Well, thank you.
How you feel it?
Well, I'm happy that my effort is recognized, but at the same time, like last night, I was a little shy. I said no, I have to wait for 5 or 10 more years, see how our effort is really bringing some fruits. And then I have not seen it yet, so I'm a little bit naive.
And also, we established a new award. We wanted to bring lawyers close to science.
Yeah.
And since you are among few Nobel Laureates that have been close to policy making in science, etc., so we thought this is the most appropriate to have a new international law award. It should bear your name. So we have now Lee International Law Award.
Yeah, it's very kind of you to set this up for me. I certainly had a lot of opportunity to talk to the leaders and policy makers and some of the lawyers in the past. And for example, I did have a chance to sit next to George Bush. That was before the war on Iraq, and tried to convince him, don't engage in the war. Try to help the people in education and other things. But at that time, George Bush believed that on behalf of the God, he should punish the bad guy. And pretty soon, war started. And I feel that in spite of the fact I had the chance to convince him, but still, one individual tried to talk to the president. He already said his mind. There's good guys and bad guys, and he has to defeat the bad guys. And that philosophy was something amazed me, because when I was young, attending Japanese school, before the end of the Second World War, I was in Taiwan attending Japanese school. Every morning, we wave the flag and singing, on behalf of the heaven, we are going to punish those immorals or unjustified people, and always use on behalf of the God, do something good, and when you do something good, you defeat the bad guys. Right? And that mentality really struck me.
Now, the citation of the award is for leadership in applying law through scientific logic in the framework of sustainable development.
Yes.
And this bears your name.
Yes.
Is this the first time is an award bears your name?
Yes.
It's the first time.
It was the first time.
Yes, and then you should feel a little bit proud.
Yeah. At my age, I feel much more comfortable to give an award than receiving an award. And for lawyer, I do know that many lawyers, they are running things according to the book. So, as you said, lawyer need to have a better scientific training. They should understand and make good judgment. And otherwise, lawyer just try to protect their client. And whether the client did a good thing or bad thing, they don't care. They just want to protect. And that's not
the purpose of the award that bears your name.
Yeah.
This is exactly the purpose.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think in a framework of sustainable development, where the three pillars, science, technology, governance, and management, and education and civil society, what's the role of science and technology in this triangle?
Well, that's something I feel pretty bad about it. One thing is, on the education, we have not been able to put into the system, in the educational curriculum and all the important things about global warming, extreme weather events, what's going on. Because if you go down to it, everything depends on the energy coming in and going out. That imbalance causing drought and also causing hurricane and lots of damages. So it's the energy imbalance, and that's a very simple physics, very simple chemistry. And even Trump should be able to understand. If you have a chance to sit down to tell him that energy coming in and going out, if we have a imbalance, what would happen? But in Taiwan or in many parts of the world, I was always invited to give lectures about science of global warming and what should I want to do. But policymakers, they probably understood some of them. But for them, there's something more important. It means the economy needs to improve. Like we are facing another election in Taiwan, 3 months. President Tsai, she's a smart lady. I would not say she didn't understand global warming, but she knew if she were to win, the economy has to be boosted. So that's the number one thing. boost the economy, provide a job to the young people. But one thing she could not understand is that if we do not handle global warming, extreme weather event, economy will not grow. Economy will not grow because pretty soon, when weather become pretty bad, every country will say, well, not only we have to adapt, we have to mitigate. And then we'll adapt some so-called binding agreement. Let's do this. So I give one example. Like California said, we as a state will go down to zero emission by 2050. Then they said we have to follow the footstep, follow the carbon footprint of the thing we buy. So I talked to my president that you see, if 2050 per capita emission in Taiwan is 5 tons, and every other country said should be below 1 ton, then they will not buy things with a high carbon footprint. And that she probably understood to a certain extent. But she still thinks this next generation has to worry about it, not her. And so that's a difficult problem. So I did serve as a presidential policy advisor. So I have the privilege to talk to president. I was an energy secretary advisory board member when I was in the States. But the mechanism of some of the scientific conclusion and suggestion is not very well taken by the president. So now what I'm doing and working with other people is to set up the roadmap. Set from here, go down to zero carbon emission at 2050. How should we do it? Which roadmap we should follow through? There we have to worry about the transformation.
So, Professor Lee, you are a special advisor of President of Taiwan in terms of science and technology. It's good to know. You should transfer some of our messages.
Yeah, it's called Presidential Policy Advisor.
Presidential Policy Advisor related to science and technology, or in every...
Just called Policy Advisor.
Policy Advisor,
Yeah.
Okay. How the government in Taiwan treats scientists and engineers?
Well, scientists are very well respected in Taiwan. So among the populace, they always said what scholars say, what scientists will say. So they listen to what science say. But the political leader less. They want to improve the economy, then they will find Minister of Economic Affairs and talk to them about how could they improve the economy. Of course, in the global free market, they want to sell more things and increase the GDP. It's much more important.
As you said in my presentation, they are equally important. They have to work together.
Yeah.
Science, technology, government, and the education
That's
system.
Right. My point is, if our Earth is infinity, then when people say market will take care of it, trade market will take care of it, that might be okay. But the Earth is not infinity, it's finite. So what we are doing is human activity is changing the environment, and especially the changing the atmosphere, which will have a tremendous impact for our life. As I said, changing the atmosphere, one thing is pollution, and other thing is the greenhouse gases. And greenhouse gases is the one energy balance, energy in, energy out. It makes a tremendous difference when time goes on and on. So there's a drought and also hurricanes and that will be getting worse and worse.
And as a scientist and a political advisor, what do you do in the free time?
Free time?
Free time.
I don't have free time. Sorry to say that. Although I retired, but after I retired as the president of Academia Sinica in Taiwan, I was elected to become the president of International Council for Science. So I worked for that organization for 7.5 years. And then I stepped down. Because I'm entirely free man now. But academy always want me to help things and do things. And the president is a little afraid to see me because she knew what I'm saying is the right thing. But she is under pressure from the business industry and want to boost the economy. And in spite of the fact, I told her, if you do not control the greenhouse gases, economy will not boom. Economy will be really going down.
So this is what you deal with in your you still work.
Yes.
The same issues.
Yes.
And no free time. Is this good or bad?
Well, as I said, when I was young, I thought I want to work with idealistic people to make this world a better place to be. And I did work hard, and I did become the president of the academy. I did become the president of the International Council of Science. That's a big organization, involved 120 countries and 31 unions. I did raise funds and initiate something called Future Earth, try to make connection between knowledge to action. And that's going on now, although I stepped down. So I'm still moving around and try to influence people. So when I saw your SIPS, Sustainable Development, I thought, yeah, it's a good thing for me to participate and talk to the people and talk to you. And
that's why we invited you, and the honor and pleasure is ours to have you among us.
Yeah.
And hopefully you will be with us next year in Phuket, Thailand. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, I did enjoy my participation, listen to different aspects of things.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck with you.
Thank you.